Welcome to Jolene's Books and Writers Talk, brought to you by Southern Dragon Publishing, where we celebrate the stories, the storytellers, and the adventures that connect us all. Today's guest is the delightful Donna Anderson-Horbal, who writes as D.H. Anderson, creator of the heartwarming Lady children's book series. Inspired by the real life birth of a foal named Lady Thistle on her family's farm, Donna brings readers into the wonder of farm life, the bonds between animals, and the life lessons that stick with us forever. With six beautifully illustrated books, each page a hand painted watercolor, Donna captures everything from Lady Thistle's wobbly first steps to her first big adventures. Whether you're a horse lover, a parent, or just a kid at heart, these stories remind us that courage, curiosity, and kindness never go out of style. So, saddle up because we're trotting right into the world of Lady Thistle and D.H. Anderson.
Hi, my name is Donna Anderson-Horbal. I write as D.H. Anderson, and I write a series of books about a baby horse. The series was inspired by a baby horse being born, a thoroughbred racehorse off the track. Her name is Polly. And Polly had a baby in our barn, and I watched the birth and then watched the days and weeks following of how the baby horse and the mom interact together and watching them out in the field. It just was a story that needed to be shared, and especially shared with children. I found myself writing for children because some children get to experience a bit of farm life, but many children do not. And so it's a bit of knowledge being shared with young children. I found a publisher. That's a bit of a challenge I learned in writing the books. I also had to find an illustrator because I cannot do artwork. Through a mutual friend, I have an artist who's actually in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's becoming known for watercolors of Kentucky Derby horses and other athletes as well. I saw on his resume that he had illustrated some books. So he was able to take some sketches done at my farm by a girl who rides the horses, who's a very good artist, but we both didn't know how to illustrate. Her sketches, my photos, and my stories are shared with Stephen Lester, and he paints watercolors. Each page of the book is an original watercolor that he paints, and then they are used to make the illustrations. So it's really a very special process that he uses. The first book in the series is about Polly arriving at the farm and having the baby, and we named the baby Lady Thistle. Lady because her sire is Lord Shannakill from the United Kingdom, and he carries the name Lord, and so she was a lady rather than a lord. My daughter spent 3 years in Scotland doing a surgical residency on horses, and their national flower is the thistle. So that's where the name, oftentimes horse names have a background, they have a meaning as to where they originate. After the birth of the baby, I follow the first few days actually of her life, where she has to get up on her long wobbly legs and drink her mother's milk, and children learn at their level why that's important and why it's necessary in regard to being prey in the wild, and also to have the nutrients they need to keep them healthy. The third book, she starts going outside with her mother, and she's supposed to stay right with her mother, but she decides she's going to wander a bit and gets in a little trouble. Fourth book, she came out of the field one day when she was just 7 weeks old with a very bad cut on her leg. My daughter ended up putting 34 stitches in this little tiny leg and then carefully helping it heal. And so the fourth book is for children to understand that when things happen, we have to trust the people and the doctors around us to help us heal. The fifth book is her first visit from the farrier. And many people don't know that term, but the farrier is a specialist for doing the horseshoes. And number 6 is about has to be weaned from her mother, which isn't always a pleasant or easy process. And then she has to get on a trailer and go to the trainer to learn how to let people ride her. I guess the part I should point out is that my publisher and editor have put the reading level of these books at ages 4 to 8, but
Okay.
preschoolers are loving the stories being read to them. My daughter, whose friends have children, are enjoying the stories with their younger children. And horse lovers of any age just enjoy the stories.
Those sound very cool. You're going to be doing a horse lifetime series.
Yes, she's giving me so much to write about. It's joyful having the horse and watching her grow, but it's an additional joy to be sharing the stories.
Are you a member of the Children's Writers and Illustrators National Group?
I am not, but it sounds like I should be.
It's a national organization for all children's writers and illustrators, and it's a way for you to get in contact with other writers of the same genre. Network gives you opportunities to attend workshops and suggestions for marketing. I highly recommend it if you get a chance to do it. It helps you not feel quite as isolated
Sounds like
in
a
your
good
writing.
match.
Are you part of a writers group?
Not yet, but there is a
Okay.
group in the Pittsburgh area that I will be joining soon.
You're traditionally published,
Yes, I am.
so they take care of most everything for you. You just have to write the story.
Yes, I write the stories and then I share my draft with both my publisher and my illustrator. They had a rough time with me, quite honestly. I was uneducated about all of what goes into actually publishing and illustrating a book. It took a little bit of time and a lot of back and forth. Now, by the sixth book, we've got the process streamlined. And my editor will appreciate the fact that I didn't use quite as many words when I wrote this one. She's always having to give my book a haircut. And through my publisher, my books are available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Ingram Books. But as she cautioned me early on, I really have to be paying attention to my direct sales as well.
I noticed your books are hardback except for maybe the last one.
But all six are available in hardcover and paperbacks. Yes. And
Good.
they're
Yeah.
digital. They're on Kindle or whatever it is through my publisher. Ebooks.
So who owns the rights to the illustration? The illustrator or you
The
or your publisher?
illustrator, I'm still working on understanding this. I have the illustrations, but there's some component to the ownership that is the illustrator's component. I don't completely understand the whole legalities of that, but I use them as I please. And we are actually doing a series of prints of selected illustrations. They'll be numbered and signed by the artist. There is a component there, though, where the illustrator owns some aspect of the original paintings.
Okay. I know when they do the copyright, they're going to put your name as the writer, his name as the illustrator. But as far
Yes.
as your publishing company, they pay for your royalties and they pay for his whatever royalties they give to illustrators.
He does not receive royalties from
Okay.
books. No, I pay him for the illustrations.
Oh, you pay him.
I do, yes.
That's a work for hire. Now the work belongs to you.
But I just
I'm
know
just
he
saying.
talked to me briefly about this, and I actually have a note that I have to understand this better. But there's some component to the artwork that is still his.
He created it. So as a
Yes.
creator, he gets credit for it, but it's a work for hire. So it belongs to you.
Yes.
And all
Yes.
you have to do is credit him to use it anywhere.
Yes. I think that probably explains it best.
Okay. Just trying to make sure.
Yeah.
Because you never know. I might get some fan fiction done for my own books and I want to know how to do it.
Okay.
Yes. And other children's authors would like to know how.
You bring that up, and I have to say that Stephen Lester has been an absolute joy to work with. He is patient with me, and He makes sure that it's what I want it to be. And we've learned in the process to do the drafts. He sketches things and then shares them with me. And that's a better place for me to indicate whether he's gotten it right or not. And he's getting better at getting it right. It's funny, when I first started working with him, I never really thought about this, but he even needed like detailed photos of the inside of my stable and the inside of a stall and how is that put
Oh,
together.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the illustrations look like my barn.
And if he wasn't familiar with how horses are very difficult to draw and to paint because
I
their
would think, yeah.
anatomy.
The interesting thing about him is some of the times in the books, Thistle's frightened about something and he captures that in her eyes.
Oh,
And he does
nice.
the same with her mom when Thistle's leg was cut and her mom called for help. He just caught the body language and the eyes. So
Sounds like you've got an excellent illustrator, most definitely. Is there anything that you would like to write differently, or
oh.
another genre, or a longer story, or something like that?
And aside to the Lady Thistle books, I will be doing a series of what I call little books. And I don't know if you remember, there was that whole series by the Berenstain Bears.
Oh, I
And
love
they
it.
had their regular books, but then every once in a while put out like a small like book. I don't know how to describe it other than it was a smaller story. So we've had cats that we've rescued here at our farm. And so there will be a small book with their stories because they all have like really interesting stories. For example, the most recent one, and all we can figure out is somebody dropped a little tiny kitten off at our driveway. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
somebody that knows us or knew that we had the farm here and had some cats here. And it wasn't more than 3 pounds when we trapped it. And the story behind that one is we don't know where it came from, but then the story of how we trapped the cat and then how we cared for it in its early days is an interesting little story. And another one of our cats, my daughter found it on the entrance ramp to the freeway in downtown Philadelphia when she was in school there. And so his name is Freeway. And so he has an interesting little story to share. So there will be some little aside books. There've been some birds that have made their nests in the barn. There was an interesting chicken that showed up on our a guinea fowl.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we eventually had to call the local animal rescue, and they have a specialist there who came and trapped that bird and took it back to their farm so it would be with others like itself. So we have some interesting bird stories, and I'll be sharing those. And not related to this, so I was actually headed in a different direction with writing, and that would be sharing some life experiences that could still be like a novel type book for ladies. I wouldn't call it ladies romance. I would call it, I don't know what I would call it, what genre it would
It's
be,
called
but
women's fiction.
women's
It
fiction. There you go. Thank you.
women's fiction.
Based on truth.
Whatever. We do what we gotta.
I've really enjoyed the Thistle series. So that will remain my main focus.
Okay. Not to be morbid, but I do ask this question of authors. I know you're
Sure.
traditionally published, so you have contracts set in place, but your copyrights you own, and those are inherited. So I'm wondering, do you have your body of work set up in like a trust, or are you just going to will it to your daughter? Or
At this point, it would be as it is right now, just willed to my daughter. But you bring up an interesting component. I might check into if I should include it in a trust that's actually already established.
most authors, especially indie authors, they start later in life. And if they have a story that's selling when they pass away, most of them don't have children to give it to. So you have to make provisions. Otherwise, it just sits there and bad actors can get a hold of it and just do whatever they want to with it.
Ah, okay.
So if the copyright is registered with the Copyright Office, you get a certificate that is inheritable.
your trustee can transfer all the copyrights into the trust or that person's name, and then they would have the right to republish the works for the 75 years after you pass away. That's a long time.
It's interesting you bring that up because another component entered into doing this whole was leaving something behind. I wanted to leave something more than a clean house and a great pie. And I've had some career opportunities in my life, but more than that, I've been supporting my husband's career, I guess you would say. And so it was time to go down a little bit different path.
You know the authoress that did the little tiny books, but they were of the rabbits, the rabbit family. She put them in clothes. She was from England. They did a movie about her life. She became an independently wealthy woman because of those little books, and she was very specific about for the publisher. She had one person in the publishing office that got her, and she made millions of dollars. And so it is possible, especially with your little horse books, they may just take off. You never know.
I'm hoping at some point to find, I wouldn't say a partner, but somebody has access to customers. I'm actually in the Pittsburgh area now in 15 Hallmark stores.
Nice.
Which is possibly a nice connection. We'll see where I can take that. And then I also have a fairly large and well-known tax store based out of Pennsylvania. They are actually that do carry my books, and I visit trade shows along with them. I sell a lot of books at trade shows.
I'm sure your publisher has got you on Ingram Sparks, which sends all the books to the library warehouses for them to buy from. They do.
But I think I get just lost in all of that. So I'm doing some direct marketing to libraries, actually.
Oh, you can do that. Your customers, your readers, they can request your books from the library because they are on the catalog. Every month, every patron is allowed to ask for 3 to 5 books from their library system. And yours is available online as well as paperback and hardback. So as part of your marketing campaign, you can tell your readers, my books are also available on the library. All you have to do is ask for them.
Okay.
And the library will, but they take a list once a month with their budget, and whatever books that get asked for, they usually try to purchase those. And then
interesting.
I request my own books, actually. And all my friends, I usually ask them to get my friends too, as long as they're published on Ingram Spark, because the library has to go through certain ones. And they email me and say, hey, we got your book. So good, let me have it.
Interesting. Thank you.
And they're starting recently, especially ebooks and audiobooks, they're starting to give, not only do they pay the initial price, but the service that they use for every time the book is checked out, they give you a percentage, like 3 or 4 cents for every time it's checked out. So they're starting to do that. They do that in England. For all the books in the libraries, the authors, when they're checked out, at the end of the month, they get a little royalty for all the ones that get checked out.
Interesting. So, I've asked some of the libraries that I've worked with, and I donate books to the library when they have me come and do a reading. And my publisher may charge for a reading, but I won't charge to read to kids. When they look up, they say, oh yeah, your books are getting checked out. And I do get good attendance when they announce a program locally.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, and your online website is mostly focused on sales. I would suggest that you get a blog portion and start collecting.
See my blogs there?
I didn't see the blog.
Yeah, I have some videos and my daughter speaks in some of them. Okay. I realize I need to post more. I have so much more information to put out there and so many wonderful videos. But maybe I have to make that more evident. Maybe I need to how do I do that? I wonder.
That depends. Who's your website through?
I'm GoDaddy.
GoDaddy. Is it a WordPress site or is it handmade?
It's handmade.
Okay.
I can't say that for sure. I actually was working with a social media consultant who set it up. Now I do all the changes on it.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm a web designer. I have 2 certificates in social media. I have 17 websites on my own. I'm a member of 4 writers organizations in the state of Florida, and I do their websites for them. Have a little.
I probably should have known you like 2 years ago, but I've had a bad taste with money spent
I,
with social media. I did a post, this totally happened by accident, but I did a post not too long ago of a cat of ours. We have to soak my horse's hay to get sugar out of it because she's insulin resistant. And so the water overflows, and there was this cat just drinking and drinking this water. And I just, did a quick video. I posted it. Do you know I have 2 million views on that? I have thousands of likes and hundreds of comments.
okay. Is that on
And I
YouTube?
was paying somebody, and I was lucky to get 25 people to look.
You have a YouTube channel?
When I post a video on my website, on my blogs, I have to make it a YouTube.
The YouTube links are now very easy. If you have a YouTube channel, you can share them everywhere. There's some things that you can do to your YouTube channel that will make you more discoverable. All righty. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Oh, Jolene, it's been a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And if you would like to be part of our show in any of our upcoming episodes, please check my website, southerndragonpublishing.com, and there's a sign up form and a Zoom link. We will get you recorded and get you on as soon as we can. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to all of our episodes. We're now on YouTube, Spotify, radio, Apple Podcasts, and my Substack. So check for the links.